Hi, this is Craig, and in this video today, we're going to learn about how to record drums, in this case, digital drums on a song called Kenny's Song, a song I've been recording from start to finish. Let's go. Hi, this is Craig from Craig Colley Music. Welcome today. I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. We're continuing with Kenny's Song today, and we are going to record drums now. We've laid down the grand piano, the bass part, and now it's time to add the drums. If this is the first time you're watching, you might want to go back and watch the previous parts, because it will explain how we got to the point where we are today, because we're building a song from the very beginning to the end. And we've gone through many stages already, starting with the writing part, the arranging part, recording the grand piano, editing the grand piano, recording the bass guitar, editing the bass guitar. Now we're adding the drums, and that's what we're doing here today. So I'm sitting here in front of a nice drum set. If you're here for the first time, please subscribe and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified of new videos as they come out and when we go live. And also, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. Brand new channel, all new stuff I'm using here in these videos. But I'm excited to be here. I hope you are too. We're going to have a lot of fun with this song here today. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the setup is. I have a new system over here. I'm going to hit this camera. First, I'm going to put on my glasses so I can actually see the stuff now. I have a setup over here where I control a switcher from this device here, which you can see here, and it controls the ATEM Pro ISO that I use recording. It's got 8 channels on it. So in this setup here, I'm triggering my different cameras from this device here on my iPad. And incidentally, if you are using this, you definitely want to hook it up through your Ethernet, not through Wi-Fi, because I tried it before with Wi-Fi and it constantly dropped the signal. It was impossible to use that way. So just got it reconfigured this way, much better. So we got camera 1 over here pointing across. We've got camera 2 coming a little tighter on this view here. You can see the control board here, and tighter on the drums. And then we got camera 3, which is behind me here, showing the screen that I have set up, along with a keyboard and a mouse, so I can control everything from this position without having to move and reconfigure. It's a fantastic setup that I have here. I'm using a digital drum set by Roland V-drums, and I'm using an old Roland TD-8 for controlling the drums, and I'm triggering it through a software called Superior Drummer 3. I'll show you that in a moment. So we've got all the different drums here. I'm going to actually turn off the interface, because it's interesting. What you're going to hear here is that this is what the drums sound like. There's no drum sound. It's just, you just got pads. But going back to my cameras, camera 4 is a camera that is typically used if I'm sitting across the room and in front of the computer, but I'm in a different station now. Camera 5 is pointing right at me, coming at me, and camera 6 is a screenshot of the software we're using, Mark of the Unicorn Digital Performer 10. Camera 7 is down on the kick drum, and camera 8 is an overhead GoPro with a wide angle. That's our setup for today. I'm going to go into the sequence here and show you a little bit about what we're doing here. This is once again Mark of the Unicorn Digital Performer 10. We've already laid down, and initially we laid down a track that was the digital piano reference track. We're not using that at all. It was just there for a reference. Then the next session we laid down these grand piano tracks, 3 different microphones, 3 different tracks. Next session we did the bass, which is down here. And this was a drum reference track down here, no longer needed. So that's turned off. But the drums that we're actually triggering through is called Superior Drummer 3. They have been sampled. They made a really nice graphic here of what the drum set looks like. And once again, like I said, when I'm tapping, it sounds like this. And before I do this, I'm going to show you my headphones that I'm using today. Right now I don't have any on, but I have these are Avantone. Not sure how to say it. It's Avon or Avon. You can let me know. They are multi-mode headphones, and I'll look like Princess Leia with a couple of croissants on my head here. But they sound fantastic. They have multiple settings on them, and I'll put a link in the show notes so you can check them out. But been using them a lot lately, and fantastic headphones. So now I'm going to go back and turn on the drums. I'm going to go back to the sequence here. Make this out of the way for a moment. Turn on my record channel. And now, when I hit these drums, So I've got on my set here, I'm going to change my angle here. On my set, I've got a snare, toms, 4 toms, and then I've got my crash cymbals. And over here, I've got my hi-hat, and I've got a side stick and snare. Now this snare has multiple positions. So depending on where you hit the snare, you get different sounds out of it. And then I also have the kick drum here. My other leg here is the hi-hat. So that is the whole kit there. And then going back to this shot, I go back here to that camera. And this is my ride cymbal. I also have, this is the 4-position head here. This is an old Roland head. So I've got a ride set up in the middle. I've got a splash crash there. I've got a crash that you would simulate if you grabbed a cymbal and choked it. I've got the bell of the ride, so I can do this kind of thing with the very expressive. You can actually hit both at the same time. There are 2 different triggers, 2 different signals. And that's the whole setup. Let's do a little test recording here to make sure everything's working first. Move this out of the way. We're going to go to our sequence window. And this here, I'm just showing the bass part that I'll play along with. And in the previous videos, you might remember I put markers into where I am in the song. That's what it indicates here. Red bar is the record line, and green bar is just a place so I can start and stop the sequence through the process here. As I record, you're going to see some MIDI notes enter into this piano scroll here. And first of all, I'm going to test out the drums to make sure that everything is working right. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm just going to record a little bit and just go around the kit. That track started. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to play that to make sure that that's all working correctly. So I got everything working. It's always a great idea to test your equipment before you start laying everything down. You heard the piano coming in because it starts first before any other instruments. The piano begins the piece. The drums actually don't come in till this area here. So I'm going to put a marker in here to start recording there and turn my auto record back on, set my start marker about here, and this is where I'm going to begin the song. What I'm first going to do is I'm going to record the song all the way through, get a kind of a feel, get a groove on the thing. I'm so excited to do this because I've been hearing this in my head for a long time, laying the other tracks down, but now we're actually going to add the drums to it. It's going to give it a real different feel than we've heard so far. So I'm going to let this thing roll. I'm going to play through it no matter what happens. I'm just going to plow through the whole song, and here we go. And I'm picking up just before the drums come in. Now we're going to go back and we're going to take a listen and see what I need to do with this piece now. So we're going back to where I started. I hear a few things right there. I'm going to go in and just fix a couple things right off the bat here. Now with MIDI, a little different than what it was with the audio. You've got to be in between notes when you're setting your punching in and punching out points. Otherwise you may clip a note or cut something off. It's a little easier with drums because they're all separated, but it's different than audio. Similar process, but still a different way of approaching it. So you want to make sure you're in between notes if possible. Like that there is on top of that note. That may get canceled out if I don't do this correctly. I'm actually gonna move over here. And you also can't roll or MIDI back and forth like you can with audio. So a little different approach to punching in and out, but I'm gonna start from the top. I'm gonna punch that section in. Here we go. Listen. And you can tell because the way that the audio works with the MIDI, there is no overlap of sounds. Everything's triggered individually, so that cut is completely clean. You can't even tell the difference at all because it's just triggering input information, not audio information. It's just getting whatever this signal is on the screen, that is what the software hears and uses. I actually want to do a little hi-hat open there, so I'm going to punch in one section right there. Now, a couple of things that I'm going to point out that I'm only going to do a few of these now, and we're going to address a lot of this in the editing video, which is coming up. This is more the creative, so I don't want to spend too much time picking things apart when I know that I can move some things and fix them later in the edit session, which is coming. But for right now, I'm going to just kind of punch some things that are obvious, and I want the overall song feel to stay in place and not turn into some kind of quantized robotic piece that doesn't have any feel to it, because everything for me is just an expression of a feeling, always number one. There you go. Now once again, I've done this enough times that thousands and thousands of times. No, I'm not used to talking through it, I'll be honest about that. So it takes my focus completely away from playing, as I just normally would do this and not be talking. You'd be talking in my head perhaps, but that happens no matter what I do. So this will take a little longer doing it this way, and it's definitely not going to be as accurate because I'm not focusing 100% on playing. I'm doing this to show how it works in the video. I can definitely hear some spots that aren't quite on, but a lot of that happens in editing too. So if it's not really outside of where it needs to be from the feel side, I'll fix that later. That one was too far gone. We'll fix that one right here. Go in here, see what will come out. Right there. So you can see it just doing little bits at a time. Check that. Something's weird about that whole part there. I'm going to turn the drums off for a second and listen to the bass. Yeah, that's okay. I'm just not tight on the drum set. I'm going to replace that and go a little bit further with that. I'm going to go up to here. Do that again. Listen. Boy, something's really weird there, hesitating or something. I'm going to listen without the drums. So something right there. That I'm going to have to fix probably all the parts, so I'm going to listen again with the drums as they are, and I'll probably do all that in editing. Something was strange there. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to come right after that crash. That crash was on. Just the next bar or two is messy. Go until about there. There's a good example. There's a double hit because of the way this came out of the punch. I actually got two snares there. There's one right there. So I'm going to take that out. Listen again. There we go. So that's a good example of having the punch not in exactly, whoops, I want to redo that, right in the right spot. And we'll listen on. Double check that. The beat, the kick drum was a little different there. I didn't want to do that. I'm going to fix this part right here. Not sure why I did that, but I did. I'm going to go in a little before. Here we go. Listen. Now that's a good example. I know there's some things that are a little out of time there, but that's the kind of stuff I'll fix in the edit process. Several things in this track that I'm going to address in editing, and sometimes I go back and play it over and over again in real time, and I found that from experience that I have doing this, it's much faster for me since I'm not the world's greatest drummer. That's probably obvious to drummers out there particularly. But it's all, to me, it's all about the song, and I kind of take the Ringo approach. Just if the song's strong enough, the drums don't have to be so dominant, especially in the stuff that I do. But some of this stuff I'm leaving purposely to show more in the editing process what can be done. This last section here where it slows down, I'm gonna play this whole ending one more time. You see if I can get it closer. Although I know that I'll be moving things and fixing things in the actual edit process on the ending as well, but I'm going to punch this in and maybe I can get it just a little closer on it. Here we go. Time that there's a very strange slowdown in the piano. It starts and stops and starts again. I'm going to do that one more time, see if I can get a little closer. I think that will work, and listen. Pretty close on the ending there. I'm going to keep the ending part into the beginning of it one more time here. When I'm moving this, it automatically triggers the notes. That's why you're hearing it when I roll over it like that. I'm going to make that a little wider so I can get in between there. Go out right there and pick up that same spot again. Hit that snare in that weird spot. I don't want that. One more time. Let me see, I don't know if that's going to work. I may have to play the whole thing. Yeah, I got to play the whole thing. That's not going to work trying to bounce in there. One more time, whole thing. Let's see if that works. All right, that is going to work. I know that when I get into the edit process that I will be able to move and fix all that, all the things that are troublesome and still had to be taken care of. But the overview of how we do it, that's what this series is all about. So now you can see we've got the drums laid down, and next section will be on editing the drums, and hoping that I'll take my Princess Leia headphones off now. Things weigh a ton, but it sounds unbelievable in here. Set them down here. So hope you enjoyed this so far. And the next thing we're going to do is have another part on taking this whole track and editing and moving things around, like I said. So that's coming next. So if you're here for the first time or a return visitor and you haven't done so, please subscribe, like, and ring the bell. We really appreciate that. If you have any comments or questions, anything you'd like to ask or talk about, I'd be happy to engage some conversation that way too. I look forward to that and building the community around building songs out from scratch, which is my channel is based upon making music, mixing music, mastering music, and marketing music. We're going to do everything with this song, so we're starting from the beginning of that process. It's going to be a while to get through it all, but hopefully it'll be well worth it and a real education. I've done this thousands of times with so many different songs, but I've never done it from the educational side, actually filming everything and talking through it and playing at the same time. There's a lot going on technology-wise to make this happen. So I hope it's working out for you. Once again, thank you for listening and watching, and look forward to any comments. If you have any interest in one-on-one consultation, I do a lot of that as well. Speeds up the process if you're looking to know about all the technology that I use in this studio setup, along with everything else that I do musically. So this is Craig from Craig Colley Music signing off. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next video. Take care. Talk to you later. And we're all done. And that's right. It's me that has to turn it off. So I'm going to turn it off now. See you later.